In this video, we're going to focus on just one idea from the AQA A-Level Economics course, economics as a social science. This is part of economic methodology, and although it sounds abstract, it is actually very important for how economists think, how they build theories, and how exam questions are written. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain what a social science is, explain why economics is classed as a social science, understand what this means for economic models, evidence, and conclusions. To understand why economics is a social science, we first need to understand what a social science actually is. A social science is a subject that studies human behaviour. It looks at how people behave, as individuals, in groups, and within societies. Examples of social sciences include economics, sociology, psychology, and politics. The key point is this: humans do not behave in perfectly predictable ways. People have different preferences, different beliefs, different values, and they respond differently to incentives. So social sciences try to identify patterns and tendencies, rather than exact, universal laws. Economics is classed as a social science because it is fundamentally about human decision-making. Economics studies how people and groups decide what to consume, decide what to produce, decide how to allocate scarce resources. Consumers, workers, firms, and governments are all human decision-makers. And because humans are involved, decisions are influenced by incentives. Decisions are influenced by imperfect information. Decisions are influenced by culture, habits, and values. This means economic behaviour is not fixed and not perfectly predictable. It helps to compare economics with natural sciences like physics or chemistry. In natural sciences, experiments can be repeated. Variables can be tightly controlled. Results are usually consistent. For example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at sea level every time. Economics cannot work like this. You cannot put an entire economy in a laboratory, control all variables, repeat history under identical conditions. If interest rates change, people may respond differently depending on confidence, income, expectations, or the wider economic climate. That's why economics does not produce exact laws in the same way as physics. Because economics is a social science, economic laws are really tendencies, not certainties. For example, if price rises, quantity demanded will fall. This is generally true, but not always. Economists often use the phrase ceteris paribus, meaning all other things being equal. This recognizes that in the real world, many factors change at the same time. Human behavior may not follow the model exactly. This is a direct consequence of economics being a social science. Because human behavior is complex, economists use assumptions to make analysis possible. Common assumptions include: consumers act rationally, firms aim to maximize profit, people respond to incentives. These assumptions do not describe reality perfectly. Instead, they allow economists to build models, analyze behavior, make predictions about likely outcomes. Again, this reflects economics as a social science. Simplification is necessary. Economists rely heavily on real-world data, but this data has limitations. Economic data may be incomplete, may be outdated, may be influenced by measurement errors. Different economists can look at the same data and reach different conclusions, interpret trends differently. This again reflects the fact that economics studies human systems, not physical laws. In exams, economics being a social science often appears in questions about methodology, evaluation points in essays, discussions about the limitations of economic models. A strong student shows awareness that economic predictions are uncertain. Human behavior can change, and models are simplifications, not truths. This understanding strengthens evaluation. To summarize, economics is a social science because it studies human behavior. Human behavior varies between individuals, changes over time, cannot be perfectly controlled or predicted. As a result, economic models rely on assumptions. Economic laws describe tendencies. Conclusions are open to debate and evaluation. This is a foundational idea that underpins the whole of economics.